Okay, thank you again, yes, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. And yes, my name is Karla, and I was born in Maceió, a beautiful city. Let me just turn it here. Okay. A beautiful city located northeast of Brazil. I came from a low-income family of four sisters and one brother. Because of my dad's job or lack of job, I had the opportunity to have 12 years of experience studying in 8 different public schools, from elementary to high school. Some of them were located in different cities and states. I graduated and got my master and PhD degrees in chemical engineering from public schools in Brazil. After 2 years working as a researcher in Japan and 3 more years in Brazil, I became a professor at Federal University of Bahia in 2009. I would say that it has been a lifetime experience, public education. I'm married to Vitaly, who is Peruvian and also a professor. I have 2 daughters, Maíra and Luna, and 2 cats. I enjoy reading any kind of art, sports, learning, and statistics. Now that you have a better sense of who I am, so let's start today. Let's start today playing a game. In this game, I'll show you a picture and you have to guess if it's a school or a prison. This is the picture. So is this a school or prison? I don't know if I can see you in the chat or if you are trying to guess. This is the picture we wanted you to analyze. So this is a school. One public school located in Salvador City, not much different from others we have there. Salvador was the first capital of Brazil. It's well known for its cuisine, music, dance, architecture, and beaches. It has an average of 3,200 inhabitants per square kilometers. Salvador Educational Index, EDAB, is about 3.2, and its median annual income is less than $6,500. It has the largest self-reported Black population in Brazil. It's about 30%. So in this city, about 50% of the students, middle school and high school students, go to public schools. 75 are self-reported Black or brown, and 50% are female. We would say that these students are part of a generation who has the advantage of growing up in a technologically rich and globally focused world, make them ideal candidates for using this technology for their own benefit or to the others. However, it's not true. These students struggle to go to school, and the pandemic now is exposing a reality that was hidden for most of us. The majority of these students, although being highly seduced by digital resources, have limited access to technology and are unprepared to be technology producers. They are not prepared to an open, shared, and data-driven world where data can be adulterated to support fabricated worldviews. The panorama is even more dramatic when we talk about female students. Conflict prevents these students from going to school, and they are minorities in the area of technology. Computer science, mathematics, economic, engineering are dominated by men. Nursing, psychology, pharmacy, all part of health area are dominated by women. I have been teaching statistics for 20 years, and my research group has collaborated in my classes for almost 10 years. Even though the number of male and female undergraduate students in engineering classes are almost the same, female students were still minorities in our research and extension projects that required programming or computational skills. Therefore, our group were initially mostly male. In September 2018, 4 female students and I decided to co-organize the Our Lady's Salvador chapter. As part of Our Lady's Global, we aimed at fostering gender diversity in the community of our programming. And 2 months later, the same group was united to write a project that would change our lives. But before that, in 2015, since 2015, I was reflexive about the possibility of working with scientific data-driven projects in a middle school, or in public school, in fact. It just happened after having the experience of helping my daughter to develop a science project at a public school in San Diego. Yes, again, a public school. When I was having my first sabbatical year, based on a detailed description of a scientific project method, including a data-driven step provided by her first male teacher, she proposed to study sound propagation. So our work on public education started by the end of 2018, writing a project initially called Gender Diversity in Data Science Explanation-Based Training to apply to the Girls in Exact Science, Engineering and Computing National Call. This call aimed to encourage female students to pursue higher education in STEM subjects. We asked for a budget of around $20,000 that would allow us to afford mostly 15 scholarships for middle school students, 3 scholarships for undergrad students, and 5 scholarships for math and science teachers for 1 year. Among 700 submitted projects, about 10% were awarded in this call. Our project got the maximum grade 10 out of 10 in 7 of the 8 topics evaluated, and a 9 in a topic related to how the proposed activities would continue after the end of the budget. Our project was nicknamed Girls on Data Science. It aimed at supporting female students to use data science as a tool for identifying and coming up with solutions for social problems regarding their community. But why data science? We believe that our students could explore their experiences in living in an equal and fragile society, that we could foster their curiosity about this society by developing critical views and communication skills through data-driven analysis. So data science would represent our only opportunity to address the historical structures in STEM that often exclude our public, women, and underrepresented minorities, but also it would open up new ways of engaging a far broader audience of students. We believe that the more experienced students could get working with data, the better prepared they would be to continue to or to change the data-driven society they were entering. We gathered a multidisciplinary group of undergrad and grad students, professors and professionals from Federal University of Bahia and from other partner institutions to be part of this project. So the first year of the project was structured around 4 main pillars: approaching the schools, formative and formative process, connection between theory and practice, and measurement of social impacts. The first pillar aimed to approach the target audience. We call it the enchantment of students and teachers. First, we present and discuss the project in annual pedagogical planning at each school. We had meetings with teachers, teacher pedagogical coordinators, and school managers to adapt the activities to foster their involvement. We wanted to guarantee that all 500 female students from the schools could have some understanding about our proposal. We brought to them kits so they could build electronic kits. We asked them what work they think we do. We asked them who they wanted to be. I'm here. I don't know if you can see me here. Some students guessed I was a guardian or a circus artist. Other day, I was an artist or a PE teacher. And for their students, they wanted it to be mostly PFM. That means police women, a position of power in the communities. So these students could express their view of the city in a drawing contest. Safety, housing, jobs, health, and urban mobility issues were all there around the school in a drawing of a 12-year-old kid. 250 students visited the university. They had a virtual talk to Gabriela de Queiroz, a Brazilian data scientist who promotes gender diversity in various projects around the world. These students also visit our labs. Our proposal in all this was to spark their interest in data science and STEAM subjects, as well as expanding the perspectives of the future through education. We dedicated 2 months in these activities. The second pillar was the formative and informative process. During the first semester of the school year, 50% of the students were having classes in data science subjects, including statistics and algorithms, on a weekly basis. We developed classroom practices that mitigated stereotype, treat, and that established a culture of active engagement and belonging. In the second semester, 25 students start to attend meetings at the university on Fridays afternoon, while the others were involved in discussions at their own schools through lectures and informative dynamics. By the beginning of December, these students began to conduct integrated scientific projects into 8 research laboratories at our university. So they work together with master, PhD students, undergraduate students, all of them developing research projects. The third pillar was direct to promote the connection between theory and practice. We fostered the proactivity and individual and group communication and analytical skills of both students and teachers through multidisciplinary projects. Students were engaged in developing scientific projects under supervision of teachers and of our own team. For the first time, science fairs were being planned at each school. In another initiative, we laid the basis of a website called Reconhecendo Salvador, or Recognizing Salvador, by using statistics and historical data. We wanted to foster the learning of skills to virtually every field directly in the context of a problem or field of their choices. Data started to be explored through graphs from questions raised together with the students. So the fourth pillar was related to using the theory of change to evaluate the impacts of our projects. We wanted to know how the activities undertaken would contribute to a chain of results leading to the development of data-driven and scientific skills that could help these students to become agents of social changes. As a result of a complete dedication of these students, we could observe impressive results. Here we can see like students of the whole school developing science projects. We have here adult students of adult education. We have male students. We have female students work with physics, science, and also geography, and even fashion in a creative way. Then we gather students and parents in a theater, yes, in a movie theater to, yes, to celebrate the accomplishments of all the students. So as you can see here, we have a family all together of daughters, mother, and grandmother, all of them students of the same schools, and all of them involved, like you can see here, in science projects. So our students also presented their work in the Conference of Young Scientists at the university. So 3 games were produced, and from the 11 projects, yes, presented, 3 of them were awarded. The inclusion of human mobility through micro and max accessibility analysis worked on developing a game for, yes, to represent how difficult it would be to blind person or for person who need wheelchair to, yes, to transit into the neighborhood. The Ipiranga State School engaged food waste. In this project, the students proposed the use of 2 different dishes, yes, in the lunchtime to avoid food waste. And the other one, the view of LGBT phobia at Ondina and Rio Vermelho neighborhood. These students, they developed a survey asking the population and some students also of these neighborhoods about acts of LGBT phobia, acts of aggressive acts against them or against others of the community. So we could see here too, yes, we have by the end of 2008, we are all engaged, yes. We developed by the end of 2018 evaluation of how these students felt during the whole year. As you can see here, the students felt capable. They felt empowered. They could talk about the community in a different way. Yes, they could tell that their community would change. They had lack of colors, disunion, disrespect, lack of structure, garbage, homophobia, accessibility. All these questions were being discussed by these students. All of us were changing our view of the society, our view of the city. Come back here. We observed also an increase of the awareness of the students and teachers about the importance of data literacy for education and career, regardless of the area, natural, social, and exact science. Students that before were mostly interested in being policemen, a position of power in communities, or working in health and beauty care, were now talking about being engineers, physicians, game producers, An increase of students' score was observed in different grades during the period they took part of the project activities. It happened not only in math and science, but also in Portuguese, geography, and history subjects. Undergraduate and graduate students were working on project articulating teaching, research, and extension practice. They were encouraged to think about the use of development of science and technology in favor of the society. In addition, new research topics start to be developed to assess the social impacts of the project, and new cooperation network would be formed. By the end of 2019, we are all together celebrating. We're all creating another good memory based on our achievements. And then we planned for the second year. We wanted to go further, but we believed that to change a structure coded for males, we needed to include them in the discussion. Bring males to talk about social inequalities was particularly important to us. Our students, male and female, are part of a less privileged and visible society. We wanted also to work with high school students. We wanted to focus on continuing developing tools and materials for data exploration and statistics of Salvador. We wanted to build a framework to incorporate data science into each subject, to build materials to foster teachers and students to develop adequate knowledge about data science and computational thinking. But how? We needed new partners, we needed financial support. At that time, our team was mostly composed of volunteers. So a collaborative project was being built with the Superintendence of Economic and Social Studies of Bahia and with other companies to provide the opportunities to our students into the first job experience program. We started to make plans to multiply our initiatives to other schools and to stay of the state with the aid of Instituto Anísio Teixeira. Enchantment started to support the studies on theory of change. I was invited to present our work there. I would say that there I had also educational experience. This slide connects two floors at Enchantment. As a result of this meeting, we were contacted by Angela Denneman from Itaú Social Foundation, and we obtained new financial support to expand our activities during one more year. I should say that this was a challenge. I was about to have a sabbatical year to research machine learning and data security at one of the most prestigious labs within Jacobs School of Engineering at UCSD. Anyway, I was going to continue leading the new project from abroad. Before my departing in February 2020, our team and I were working every day and night in January to organize a full schedule and new materials that would support the activities during 2020. But the pandemic arrived. On March 25th, quarantine was officially decreed in Salvador City as a measure to suppress the spread of population contamination by coronavirus. This measure came after the suspension of the curricular and administrative activities of public and private schools throughout the state of Bahia, including the Federal University of Bahia, announced on March 18. So we had to make new plans to adapt, to propose new activities in a virtual environment. But how? How to do that? Considering the technological fragilities of our students and their families, as well as the scarcity of technological tools in the schools. And also the lack of training of our team and teachers in using online resources for teaching. But we could not dare to stop. We divide our team into six groups. Data science, yes, impact evaluation, data science, artificial intelligence, social, racial, and gender leadership, scientific thinking, and recognizing Salvador. At that time, yes, most of our team were volunteers because we are still waiting for the conclusion of the bureaucratic process to establish a tripartite program between Itaú Social Foundation, the University, and FAPEX Foundation. But last August, we were able to start paying our team. Then we start to build a website together and to publicize materials and to support and to promote exploration of data education or data science education. Our proposal was to involve all teachers from various subjects, from statistical and non-statistical, computing and no-computing backgrounds. It is important to point out that a variety of materials is available on the internet or books in English, but not in Portuguese. I mean, these materials about data science. Then we start Café com Dados virtual meeting once a week. These meetings are aimed to approximate teachers to data science. We invite various professionals to talk about applied data science. We invite researchers to talk about gender and race disparities. We were showing that there is no discipline that has not been affected by the approach and tools of data science. We're all together learning about a world that could also be seen through a data-driven point of view. Teachers start to believe in STEAM in a connective way through data science. We also start to write 4 ebooks about data science, artificial intelligence, scientific think, to support students and teachers, and one about social, racial, and gender issues direct especially to teachers. Using a data-driven perspective, we continue to develop the website Reconhecendo Salvador with graphs and statistics about the city. We had to promote to our students a wider view of issues that go beyond their view of their communities. I should say that most of our students have rarely experienced a social life outside of their communities. And there, they cannot circulate safely. Weekly meetings started to be held with the students who were part of the project in 2019. But now in a virtual space, Skype, Hangout, and lately Google Meets were used for the meetings. Social, race, and gender issues were initially discussed during the virtual meetings while talking about extraordinary women who have changed Brazil and the world. Our students produced podcasts named Wonderful Women, Mulheres Extraordinárias, that are now available at Spotify. Their paths and actions were connected with data science and artificial intelligence applications that could benefit the society. Since the students and the team had gotten some experience in working virtually, we returned to work with data science, scientific thinking, while helping them to think about Salvador City. We started to meet our students virtually twice a week. Together with 2 schools, we promoted artificial intelligence learning in an elective course for high school students. 2 students of our team and 2 teachers are lecturing this course. We created Google Classroom and WhatsApp groups to communicate with them, to send assignments, and to receive their questions and impressions. But what about the other students? All those that could not be there, not only because their lack of technological access, but also because of our limitations for virtually working with them. We want them to know that we were still present and that we would come back to the schools. Then, on a daily basis and in collaboration with the schools, we start to select and to share with them short videos about data science, artificial intelligence, scientific projects, data exploration, and social, racial, and gender concepts and initiatives. It has been a challenging task, since part of these students share a cell phone, a unique cell phone with the whole family and do not have enough internet data packets to access the videos. Problems related to the internet or data package limitations have been the #1 cause for the absence of some students during the virtual meetings. However, technological issues did not prevent our students to develop scientific projects this year. 4 projects were presented by the undergrad students in the University Virtual Conference. 10 abstracts were submitted to the Young Scientist journals. They were composed by the students related to their experience during the pandemic. And 6 projects were approved in an interstate conference. We have much work to do, and we must be creative and resilient to build our own paths. But I need to start concluding this presentation from now, as some of you may know, we can keep talking about our children, beloved children, for long hours. And these children here also were in the news. Our students were invited by local TVs. Yes, our students could express themselves to the society. We are in local and national news. So I wanted to share with you, like here, 2 short videos, 1-minute videos that these students were talking to the news. Yeah. So let me see if I can do that, and let me know if you can listen, yes, to them. They are very short. The first one is Caroline, a 13 years old.
O participativo, o cadeirante, que são os dois deficientes, que são o cadeirante e o deficiente físico, o cego, desculpe, ele vai pedir que você clique uma tecla para você continuar andando. E quando você continuar, e assim que você vai ajudar ele a chegar ao destino, que esse é o objetivo, que você ajude ele a chegar ao destino. Já na segunda fase, que é o cego, ele pretende ir ao mercado da rua dele, que já é microacessibilidade, que é o percurso maior. Mas, a maioria das vezes, esses dois personagens acabam andando mais pela rua do que pelo próprio passeio.
Porque não tem condições de andar onde deveria, né?
Sim.
Pois é. E aí tem...
So this is Caroline explaining to the news, yes, about the game she had produced with their friends, yes. The other one is Maria Eduarda. She's talking about her experience in the project.
Com a ajuda dos professores, criaram uma mini central meteorológica, feita com sensores para medir a umidade do ar, do solo e a temperatura. Atividade que pode ajudar a acompanhar futuramente uma plantação, por exemplo. Conhecimento que estimula Maria Eduarda. Com apenas 13 anos, ela quer ter acesso a toda a informação que tem direito, independente de ser uma menina.
Mudar essa história de só homens ter participado, que é uma história de mulheres. Como então, e nessa área, as pessoas só acham que a mulher tem que ficar em casa, varrendo, lavando roupa. E elas têm que entrar nessa área também. Todos os direitos que a mulher tem, então eu foquei muito nessa área para eu poder participar.
iniciativas como essa, que as meninas ainda bem novas, até mais novas que a Maria Eduarda, que só tem 13 anos, já começam a entender que o lugar de mulher onde ela quiser. Ela pode ir para qualquer área do conhecimento. Se ela escolher também ficar em casa, fazendo as tarefas, ela também pode, ela tem direito de fazer tudo que ela quiser, como eu já disse.
Okay, let me return to this presentation. Yes, many changes happened with everyone. Professors left their university office to be at the schools, planning new projects and initiatives in education. Our students, mostly engineers, could be working with data science and machine learning, to understand or model industrial data and process, but they decided to be there. Our undergrad students and master and PhD students were part of this project, developing abilities in leadership, communication, and understanding, reshaping their vision of the city, communities, university, and education, and also becoming social agent of change. Community leaders committed to engage and reapproximate families and communities to the schools, and also to support the young generation into the project. New educational territories were being built. In a global point of view, but acting locally, our initiatives tackle directly or tangentially some of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Through education, our students can liberate their mindsets, free their imagination, and increase their self-respect and self-esteem. When eradicate gender bias, they avoid undermining their social relation that evaluate all of us. It's not just a human rights issue, it's a tremendous waste of more than half of the world human potential. Political, economic, and social equality for women and other gender minorities will benefit all the world's citizens. Equality and prosperity must be available to everyone, regardless of gender, race, religious beliefs, or economic status. Students can unlock their enormous human and civil potentials and have a chance to prosper in life. Students also have to be prepared to contribute to build or be part of strong institutions to propose local and global standards of justice that commit to peace everywhere. To meet these local and global goals, we all need to be supportive, empathetic, inventive, passionate, and above all, cooperative. That said, we need to help our students to become more resilient for the uncertainties of the future, a highly technological future which will not only require a workforce with strong skills in science, technology, exact science, art, and mathematics, but also people who can recognize, understand, and often offer solutions to the problems faced by the society through data-driven thinking. We need to guarantee that they have an adequate stimulus in school while working on their creative skills, logical thinking, teamwork, and problem-solving techniques. We must guarantee they are prepared to be technology producers and not only active consumers of digital resources. We believe indeed that the data science on public education initiative opens an unprecedented and historic opportunity in Bahia to bring together schools, community, universities, research-funded agencies, national and international investors, and the government to reflect upon the importance of supporting our younger generations to succeed as civil citizens while contributing as social agents to build a more equal society. So we are open to new partners. So thank you to those who were there since the early beginning. Thank you to all students, action and support teams, partners, friends, and family who have believed in these projects, have shared their experience, and have given us inspiration, time, dedication, insights, companionship, and words for a greater good. Here, I would like also to especially thank Ícaro Bernardes, Julia Bijos, Ana Luisa, Kaique, and all my students, and my sister Roseline for the valuable help to conclude this presentation. We are all here because we believe that something dramatically different is possible. Thank you for having me here today.